Hello, YouTubers. I'm back. Joe Kersey is back, and it's Monday, October 8th, 2018, and it is 16:30 in the afternoon Eastern Time. Right now it's daylight time. Oh, I hate daylight savings time. Anyway, it's Eastern Daylight Time. And I'm back home safely by the grace of God and no other. And delighted to be back with y'all. And in fact, to show you how much home I am, how much at home I am, I'm going to show you my latest fall injury, which happened just a few minutes ago. Yeah, Joe fell down. That's the standard way around here. Here's the latest thing here. So I left a bit of a colorful trail, but it clots a lot better now than it used to. So I can't leave as much of a blood trail as I used to. I'm sure some of you people are going, ugh. I won't show that again. Actually, I was trying to, I got an email today from the people that do the Ticketmaster stuff, bands in town and stuff, and they said, Bob Seger's going to be here on January 19th. I think, well, count me in. I love Bob Seger. I went and saw him on like November 4th, 2000, I want to say 2011. Which was only like 3 months after I had fallen in the fire pit, and beat up I can't never get it straight. Put the divot in my face, the other side there. Had a little head injury. My son and I went, and we had a really good time there. And so I said to Tom, I emailed Thomas, I said, you want to go to this thing? He said, yeah, count me in. And I said, well, I'll buy the tickets. So then I tried to buy the tickets, on Ticketmaster here this afternoon. It's like, they're not going to let me in. They're not going to accept me on their website. They're not going to let me do anything. So I guess Bob Seger's pretty much, out the back door on this one. So I won't go see that one. So. Unless something miraculous happens here, if Ticketmaster says, "Hey, wait a minute, you were trying to get in, and we realized we were screwing you over," that's going to happen. Yeah, that'll be the Ticketmaster helping me buy a ticket from them for like upwards of $200 each. Yeah, I like the guy that much. Probably ain't going to happen, though. Anyway, I got to see him once. I got his stuff on the record, so. Okay. This is an Oktoberfest beer out of a 28-pack, by the way, a 28-pack. That my good neighbor Liz, say it real fast, my good neighbor Liz, who picked me up at the airport last night at 10:30 at night. Good neighbors don't come any better than that. I'm going to tell you that right now. God bless you, Liz Rary. Yep. God bless you, Liz Rary. So, she laid that one on me last night. It was dark. I didn't, I didn't want her to carry it in. I said, I'll come over and get it, during the daylight. Don't heave that thing into the damn house. But she did. God bless her. So I'm having the first one of the first fruits, so to speak. So before I put any of my material together, and believe me, I've got a lot of material. I got about 30 gigabytes of material. I wouldn't impose all of it on you. I promise. Excuse me. I will. I want to sort of give you a little overview of what the backstory on some of this stuff is. Let's answer the big question first. The big question is, would you ever do a bus tour like this again? The answer is no, I would not. It has nothing to do with the organization. It has nothing to do with the Trafalgar organization. It has nothing to do with the Trafalgar employees, Arn and Laszlo, who actually was working for Global Europe Global or Global Europe. You know, he worked for a separate outfit, but they were working closely with Trafalgar. It has nothing to do with that. I have no gripes at all with the Trafalgar organization or whoever was running the various systems and things at all. It's just that sort of touring does not suit me. And that's one reason why I did it. I wanted to see if it suited me. Turns out it does not suit me. That's ask and answer. That was done. Having said that, if you're going to do one of these things, I imagine it's one of the better outfits out there. I mean, it's all planned out. Every minute of your time is accounted for. That also might be a negative in some person's opinions. They keep you on the move. When you're on the move, you're on the move, and buddy, you're on the damn move, and you better not straggle, or they're gonna. I didn't see them shoot any stragglers, but I could tell they were getting ready a couple of times. It's like, buddy, you better eat that. They're going to come in there and they're going to put it up your ass. It's like the old joke about, chicken soup in the hospital. You people probably haven't heard that. Buddy, you better eat that or they're going to... Buddy, you better keep on the move or they're going to gun you down on the palace steps. They're going to rehearse. They're going to rehearse some of their history right here in person. Bayonets, you get the bayonets out. Nobody got bayoneted. A couple of us learned to lay back a bit when we didn't want to be route marched, across. See, the thing isn't so much the walking. The thing is the paving. It's all these uneven cobblestones and things, and so you're sort of zooming along at a fairly good clip. I mean, as long as you keep your head down and look where you're going, you can keep going along at a fairly good clip. But what it also means is you can't see anything else that's going on past you. You can't see any of the stuff that they're talking about. Of course, you got your little earpiece in with one of these little things around your neck, or in your coat pocket, So it's not like you're seeing any of the stuff you're hearing about, because all you're seeing is paving stones. So I can tell you, I saw some of the best paving stones in Eastern Europe, in 8 or 9 major cities in Eastern Europe. I mean, that's, what did you see on your trip? I saw the paving stones in the central parts of the city, in 8 or 9 major, European cities. That's what I saw, because that's what I saw. That's what I saw. Now, the pictures that I took were sort of like, during the times when they mercifully allowed you to stop for a moment or two, and take some photographs. It's like, so, no. I mean, I almost thought about taking like a series of shots, as I was walking, just to, but that would have meant I had to get the camera out and had to do 2 things. One, had to walk and take photographs at the same time, which would have meant that I would have risked falling down and risking one of these things, which happened this morning right here at home. See, it doesn't pay to get complacent, does it? God bless us all. Well, there were 48 of us on this trip, and 29 of them had done a tour with Trafalgar before, which they said was a bit of a large number. I mean, they said that was an unusually high number of people. Oh, now don't go crawling around in there. I had a bug crawling around my bloody wound. Anyway, so and a number of people asked me if I'd been with this outfit before, and I had. I mean, this is the first bus tour I'd ever done, and I'm glad I did. I'm very glad I did the thing. I mean, to me, this was a survey course. I didn't know squat about the cities, well, except for Berlin and Vienna that we went to, and Berlin, of course, was so much different from when I was there in 1971. And hell, the whole, Potsdamer Platz and things just completely built up. Alexanderplatz built up. It's like, there wasn't anything there. It was like rubble from the war, and now it's not. Now you can't even tell the difference. And now you can't tell where the old city or the free city ended and the communist city started, because it's not a communist. There's no communism anymore. It's freedom, liberty, free speech, guys. And that's what it's all about. So all you politically correct crowd that want to limit free speech to, I don't want people to use words that make me go to my safe space. Take note. Speaking of that, and you can't get away. Well, I, as an American, could not get away from it. There was a little sort of reception, meet your fellow travelers thing, the first night there in Vienna, and that was great. That was fine. I mean, that's very appropriate. And it turns out we're like there were 7 New Zealanders out of 48. That's a fairly large contingent, and the 8th one would have been New Zealand, but she had taken out Australian citizenship. So basically 8 New Zealanders, and you had there were 6 Canadians, and and this is all very much a couples group, by the way, a couples thing. So any of you gay single guys out there thinking you're going to give this one a shot, you need to find another venue on this one. This is it's not gay unfriendly. It's not gay unfriendly. It's just, you're a single guy and you've got a world of couples, and we all know where that leaves you. It leaves you holding the fucking stick or holding the door open, doesn't it? That's what it means. Yeah. That's okay. Well, I knew that. I just wanted to go see these towns I'd never seen before, so that was fun. Just be aware, anybody that's going on one of these things. This is not. You're not going to go down there and hold your boyfriend's hands on the coach or anything. It's not. It's just that ain't going to happen. It wouldn't be hostile. It's just like you'd be. You wouldn't be shunned. It'd just be you'd be completely ignored, which I guess is a form of shunning, isn't it? Okay. So think about that for a bit. Now, let's go back to U.S. politics. Well, this meeting, this little dinner thing, I could see this guy coming a mile away. Yeah, he had the helmet-haired wife, the blonde helmet-haired wife. He had the long gray sort of the conductor Leonard Bernstein or Bernstein locks, wavy hair back. He had the turtleneck thing on, the body hugging turtleneck. I'm there in my Carhartt short sleeve shirt. And this guy comes up to me and says, "What do you think about all this Kavanaugh stuff?" Right off the bat, right off the bat. I'm 4,000 miles away from home. One of which reasons I came was to ignore all that shit. And the very first thing out of this guy's mouth, who, of course, he's from Southern California. Like, what do you think about California? I said, well, I mean, I'm not paying too much attention. Why aren't you paying attention to it? I thought, okay, this guy apparently had, scoped me out a long time ago. He's wanting to draw me into a thing, make me look like a fool. So I thought, well, because I just don't pay attention to stuff like that. Why not? I said, because I spend my time reading and contemplating being out on the deck. And then I pulled this thing out from under my t-shirt. I said, and praying to God. Boy, that just set him, off into the fucking, Well, he didn't know what to make of that because he didn't want to make an ugly scene about it. Yeah. So he sort of backed away at that point. But no, it was like he was bound to, for some reason he had set me in his sights as like the first guy to take down. Now it turns out the second guy he went to take down was the one guy that I spent a lot of time talking with, Ermelia, who works for Raython out there. And he and I, he and I got talking a lot about Reformed theology and things. So, I mean, we were actually having some really good conversations. And so it was delightful to meet him. Meanwhile, Helen has, she's got this little list. She's always sort of like doing this. And, she'd sort of like put her hair back and she'd sort of look around her, give me a fucking break. Just give me a fucking break. And then we had what I ended up calling the Bobbsey twins. Now they weren't lesbians. They acted like lesbians, but they weren't lesbians. They were really good college friends that had kept in touch. And and they go out every morning for their power walk. Some power walk. Their little black tights and things. Power walking and things. And they were, but the problem is you had to listen to these people talk on the bus behind you while you were traveling. So you had to listen to all this. Oh, it's terrible about you, Kavanaugh. It's terrible about this. How can they do this? It's like, well, I'm thinking, well, honey, I defy you to recall every moment of your life 36 years ago at a high school party. That's all I have to say. It's like, go back 36 years. Now, yes, admittedly, some of those will be really good, vivid memories. But I dare say that for most guys, it won't include, oh, gee, I tried to rape this woman and she turned me down. That's not going to be a memory they carry around. It just didn't. It'll be like, oh, I got some stinky finger. Hey, bud, hey, smell that. Smell that. Yeah, I've been in the straight world. Well, I'm not a straight, but I know how it works. Give me a break. And let us now talk about the, God bless them, the Australians and the New Zealanders. This trip would have been awful without them. Awful without them. Thank God for the Australians and the New Zealanders. We had 8 New Zealanders. Well, 7, but 8 really in reality. And then I'll say more about the Canadians in a moment. But thank God for the Australians. And they eventually sort of got so they'd invite me to sit and eat with them at dinner. And I felt like I'd been very much accepted. If you can get the Australians to have ask you to come over and eat with them. I mean, I was very impressed with that. I really think thanks guys, if you watch that. Thanks for doing that. Meant a lot to me. And for a variety of reasons, which I didn't go into with you then, and I don't think you would have particularly been delighted to hear. But anyway, yeah. So thanks, Australian folks. They really made the day a lot of times, And I was, as I said, I was not by far the worst mobility wise. And you got so you could kind of figure out when you could sort of just sit down and they'll come back around. Certainly at Auschwitz, which I thought was interesting. I mean, it's like, excuse me, the guards kept saying, "Come on, keep close, keep close." And I'm thinking, well, isn't that what these guys were hearing? This really went to the gas chambers. Keep up, keep close, keep close. And of course, that's exactly what I just wonder how much of that they were doing for effect, and how much of that was just unconscious, German mentality. Well, Auschwitz is in Poland. But, at that time, it wasn't Poland. It was, kind of a lawless no man's land. That was why they did in Poland, because there weren't any laws in Poland at that time. Thank you, God. Now let's just tell you the story here. Let's see. We got over there in calendar here. On the 20th, I got there with like 5 minutes to spare and met Arne Schmidt and Laszlo, the coach driver, with 5 minutes to spare, less than 5 minutes to spare. I got in, I texted, "Where are you?" I couldn't figure out where the meeting point was. Well, it's one of these things where all the guys are standing outside, the rope going, car for Tom Cruise, car for whatever, There wasn't anybody saying, car for Joe Kersey. So it's arrived there on the Friday, the 21st, I said, "I'm going to wait for another, 2 hours. I mean, don't feel you got to drag me over there. Don't waste all your gas. Just I'll sit around for 2 hours. Oh no, you're here. You're going to go. All right, fine." And so we had in the evening, and this has got to be a very interesting. This has got to be a very interesting thing for tour directors. I'll tell you, I want to go on record right now saying I have nothing bad to say about Arne Schmidt, the tour director, absolutely splendid, or Laszlo, the coach driver, absolutely splendid. Not a thing to say negatively about either of them. I will talk about some things that Arne Schmidt did, which I think were a bit, as far as I'm concerned, and as they affected me, a bit unjust. But in terms of his organizational skills and logistics, flat on. Anyway, so he just, there were only two people on the trip that were not paired up, not traveling as couples. Myself and a woman from Hawaii, although she was originally from Michigan. She'd been all over the states. I never did quite figure out what she had done for a living, but anybody on this trip, I'm going to tell you right now, had the wherewithal to be on this trip. This was not a cheap trip. So I mean, you aren't traveling with the guy on the bus that's scraping up a cigarette butt from the floor of the bus to smoke. Actually, now given the smoking stuff, you actually were traveling with some people who were scraping up cigarette butts outside on the streets. Probably not more of that than not, but enough of that. So, uh, so God bless her. I mean, she was fun. She was pleasant to talk with, and so we were sort of paired on the first, evening walk around there in Vienna. That's fine, and didn't know that that's sort of like the way it was going to be paired up the entire time. So I mean, like every day there was a seating assignment, the coach, and it rotated around. That's fine. That was absolutely fine. The thing is, Kay basically didn't like sitting by the window. Okay. Well, most people do sometimes like to sit by the window. I can take it or leave it, but I really would not. I really didn't want to sit by the window every single day because Kay was not an excessively large individual. She had a habit of putting that swing down arm up in these coaches. That hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. So as I was saying, she had the habit of putting she liked that sidearm there next to her in the aisle. She faced onto the aisle, and she sort of cranked that thing up, which meant that sort of cranked her behind, and everybody's behind in toward the wall, which meant that I was kind of wedged against the wall, and of course, if I had been sort of on the aisle, I wouldn't have put the thing down. I would have gladly sort of hung a little bit over the edge of the seat, and and that would have been a lot easier for everybody. But that was not where the case was, and that's not what happened during this trip. I also promised you a remark about the Canadians. We had I think we had either four Canadians or six Canadians on this trip. Now, interestingly, as much as I love to generalize, I can't generalize because two of the Canadians actually kind of saved the day in terms of music-wise and things like that. And but there were two that certainly did not save the day. One of which was involved in the real estate industry in southern Ontario. And this has nothing really to do with him because he can't help this. He can't help this. He had a very pointy head, and he accentuated it by having like a very short, burry type haircut. And yeah, so I mean, so you had and his head wasn't all that wasn't quite a microcephalic head, but it was getting close to being a microcephalic head. So he had a pointy-headed, not quite microcephalic guy who sold real estate in southern Ontario. And he was on the phone. He was concluding real estate deals while he was traveling around. So uh, let's just say this was probably not the most endearing habit of somebody to have as a touring partner. His wife was okay. Oh God, she needs to get the Nobel Prize. I mean, some of these guys' wives need to get the damn Nobel Prize. Well, of course, the helmet head, and the Leonard Bernstein, they'd give each other the Nobel Prize for being with it. Yeah, so out of 48 people, you're talking maybe 8, 10. That's not bad. That's not a bad percentage. And of the 8 or 10, there's really only like 3 or 4 that were truly obnoxious that you really tried to sort of steer clear of. So that's not bad either. So, okay. A good tour director. I mean, an amazing coach driver. So, yeah. So, I'll be putting these pieces up sort of day by day or bit by bit as I get them all edited. I'm going to try to learn how to use the iMovie to do voiceovers on still pictures. Otherwise, it's going to be like a big old slideshow, dudes. Yeah, and let's not forget Joe's life continues here. So I'll say bye bye, YouTubers.